to an especially sacred place, the cradle of the Kazakh people, Ulitau. In this place, you can see a large number of historical and cultural monuments of world importance. One of them is the mausoleum of Alasha Khan, about whom there are centennial legends. Over several centuries, various facts have been documented about the history of this monument. About this, we offer to study the history of ancient times and talk to the international community of scientists, to well-known world historians, to eliminate controversies, doubts, and unexplored facts of history regarding Alasha Khan, in order to tell the truth about his existence as a historical figure or a legend. This is important not only for Kazakhstan, but also for the entire world history. Ulitau is a sacred place for all Turkic tribes, the foundation of the Alasha Empire. It starts from the sources that Scythians, Huns, Turks, and Kipchaks lived here at different periods in time. This territory is the core of the Turkic Khaganate. The territory of Ulitau had a considerable geopolitical significance in the Middle Ages. Genghis Khan's eldest son, Joshi Khan, was the ruler of this place. Later, it became the center of the Golden Horde. The first capital of the Golden Horde has located here. The state of Deshti Kipchak was founded in the sacred land. Later, a powerful empire became an attractive center for the Turkic civilization. At the moment, we are at the foot of Yeryedege mountain, the sacred edge of Ulitau. The rulers of the Golden Horde and direct descendants of Genghis Khan, like his grandsons Tokhtamış Khan, Temür Kutluk Khan, and the legendary commander Yeryedege, were also buried in Ulitau. Amir Timur, one of the most outstanding commanders of the world, ordered to carve an inscription about his arrival in Ulitau on a stone. In the Book of Glory of Sharaf al-Din Ali Yazdi it is written, "When Amir Timur arrived in Ulitau, the first thing he did was to climb to the top of the mountain, where he spent the whole day in meditation, watching the green steppe and the high mountains. Then, having gathered his army, he ordered to erect a monument there, Kolpatas. On this memorable day, skilled craftsmen carved an inscription on a stone. Part of the ancient Turkic alphabet is written in Arabic, the other part in the Chagatai language. This stone was placed on the Altınşoka hill in Ulitau. Today, the original historical relic is located here in the Hall of History and Culture of the Golden Horde of the State Hermitage Museum in St. Petersburg. The inscription reads, "I, Amir Temür, Sultan of Turan, with 300,000 warriors, will go on a campaign against the Horde Khan Tokhtamış. When I reached this place, I left a sign for the descendants." The inscription says, Ulitau became a fertile land and a sacred place of the Kazakh Khanate in the course of time. It is well known that a settlement called the Khan's Horde was discovered on the right bank of the Karatal River in the Ulatau region. According to archaeologists, the height of the construction was 4 meters, and in the corners of the defensive moat, the place of the tower with a height of 8 meters and a diameter of 20 meters was preserved. The moat is enclosed by a trench 5 meters wide and 4 meters deep. The famous archaeologist Alkay Margulan noted that the Han's hoard belongs to the 12th, 13th century and has a close connection with the mausoleum of Alasha Khan. Considering the fact that Genghis Khan lived during this period, we can see that our assumption is approximate to the truth. The mausoleum of Joshi Khan is located in the sacred Ulatau on the bank of the Karakingir River. Joshi, the eldest of the 4 sons of Genghis Khan, he proved himself as a strategist, commander, a clever politician, and a wise ruler. When Genghis Khan divided his great empire between 4 sons, Joshi, as the eldest of the sons, was given the entire Deshti Kipchak region. According to the historical data, Joshi Khan died in 2027 due to a fatal accident while hunting in Ulatau. After his death, his mausoleum was erected. The mausoleum of Alasha Khan is located next to the mausoleum of Joshi Khan. It is no coincidence that these sites of memorial and cult of architecture are located close to each other in Ulatau. After all, it is for the reason that the word Alash has a sacred notion for the Kazakh people. It is worth noting the book Yer Yedege, which in the second half of the 19th century, the scientist Shokan Walikhanov copied several times, and later, in 1905, it was published by the professor of the St. Petersburg University, Mr. Mileransky. When Alash was Alash, and Alash was a Khan, Kazakhs, Kalmyks, and Nogais were all together united and well known to the world. The poem about Yer Yedege was translated into English and published in London in 1842 under the title Folk Poetry of Persia. The main characters of the epic Yer Yedege are Tokhtamış Khan, Amir Temir, Nuruddin. They all are well-known commanders in the world. It is essential to determine the true historical identity of Alasha Khan. This problem has been in need of a solution for several centuries. For the first time, a comprehensive research study on Alasha Khan was conducted only by well-known Kazakh scientist Shokan Walikhanov. In his work entitled Genealogy of the Kazakhs, he gives some facts about Alasha Khan. After Shokan Walikhanov, no one continued these genealogy studies. We are forced to confine ourselves only to the mythical data left by scientists. According to sources, some say that he was short, others bald. However, all this is just speculation. Studying the life of the famous Genghis Khan, we can learn that according to the sages of his time, like Khader Ghali Jalair had mentioned in his work Collection of Chronicles, and Abelghazi Bahadur in his work Genealogy of the Turks had wrote that he has an ancient Turkic origin. The great Kazakh thinker, historian Mashhur Jasub writes, Alasha Khan had his son Joshi Khan. He died while hunting a wild horse. All the before mentioned references support the view that Alasha Khan and Genghis Khan are the same individual. Therefore, by engaging world-level historians, it is time to find the solution to the problem that has remained a mystery for many centuries. Can a large mausoleum be built for an ordinary person next to the famous Joshi Khan? In addition, comparing the mausoleums of Joshi Khan and Alasha Khan, you can notice the following features. Firstly, who can be buried in a mausoleum that is much higher than Joshi Mausoleum? Clearly, from the point of view of historical time, the mausoleum was built first for Joshi Khan and then for Alasha Khan. The reason for this may be related to the death of Joshi Khan in 1227, before the death of his father. Genghis Khan commissioned the construction of a large mausoleum for his eldest son. Secondly, the dimensions of the mausoleum of Joshi Khan are 9.55 by 7.25, with a height of 7 meters, while Alasha Khan's mausoleum dimensions are 9.73 by 11.9 meters, including a dome with a height of 10 meters. In this case, is the comparison suggesting that the status and social role of the Alasha Khan was higher. Thanks to the unique design and architectural appearance, the mausoleum of Alasha Khan has become a beautiful and durable structure. 4 walls, 8 faces, a 16-sided drum, and a stone dome give the tomb a special majestic appearance. The bricks of the mausoleum are stacked and decorated with meaningful patterns as curly carvings. On the surface and on the sides of some bricks, the ancestral designs of Turkic clans called tamgas, that are the emblems of all the Turkic peoples, are represented. Moreover, this is also no coincidence. Images of ancestral symbols of the descendants of Deshti Kipchak, Kangu, Kipchak, Naiman, Kongerat, Kerey, Nogai, from time immemorial attracted the attention of both scientists and ordinary people, collected on one stone structure. The mausoleum of Alasha Khan symbolized the unity and cohesion of the people. Such signs were characteristic on the mausoleums of great generals and were considered a distinctive symbolism. Thirdly, at the entrance to the mausoleum of Alasha Khan, we can see the sign paw print of the wolf. On the inscription carved on top, the very word Alash means wolf. After all, the ancient Turks consider themselves descendants of Kugbura. Borean Old Turkic languages means wolf, Kuk means blue, and worshipped him. During the time of the Turkic Khaganate, warriors depicted the symbol of Kugbura on their standards, which is a historical truth. Later, this sacred concept passed to the Kazakh people. After all, the famous poet-educator Sultan Mahmud Toraygirov wrote in the poem the anthem Alash Orana, composed in 1917. Under the flag of Alash, we will shine forever. Never let others disgrace our state, Alash. Now we are no in danger. We have reached this time. Alash will exist. Long live Alash. Long live Alash. The poet of the great steppe, Suinbay Aron, wrote, "My flag with a symbol of Bure. When my flag is raised up, I feel so proud and emotional." Remembering these lines, we are proud to be the descendants of Kugbura. Kugbura is one of the sacred concepts in Turkic mythology, and the Turks are the ancient ancestors of the Kazakh people. Therefore, from a historical point of view, the belief in Kugbura passed to the Kazakh people. To this day, the Kazakh people represent the brave defenders of the motherland with Kökbörü and depict Börü as a symbol of courage and heroism in their works of art. In addition, a very ancient Turkic legend says that the people ultimately died in times of warfare. Once, after a battle, only a 10-year-old boy was left alive, and his enemies cut off his arms and legs and left him for dead. But this boy will owe his miraculous survival to Kökbörü, who picked him up and protected him. When the boy grew up, he became the founder of the Turkic people. That is why Kökbörü is a symbol of the noble protective mother for the Turks. In 1917, the Kazakh scientific community founded an independent Kazakh state named Alasha. The name itself has a primary meaning. The word Alash for the Kazakh people has a sacred concept. Alash is the name and slogan of the whole Turkic peoples, and the word horde is translated as a state. Therefore, bright representatives of the Kazakh people, such as Ahmed Baytursunov, Alikhan Bukikhanov, Mirzak Abdulatov, and others, especially revered the concept of Alash. Finally, the mausoleum of Alasha Khan has unique staircases that are not found in the mausoleums of Aristanbab, Hoja Ahmed Yassawin, the Kazakh land, as well as in Central Asia as a whole. A staircase in the mausoleum of Alasha Khan leads to the second domed floor, also called Drum Gallery. A circular corridor was built here to repel the enemy. The height and width are convenient for a person to walk. There are windows in the form of European castles that allow you to fight with the enemy. The small windows of the mausoleum make it possible to effectively use the bow, arrow shooting, and other means of combat against the enemy. There is also a special place near these windows for spear fighters, who immediately prepare arrows for each archer. This building is a real fortress. Going further to the square, to the upper part of the mausoleum called the observation deck. From this platform, we can view the entire area, so a commander could coordinate all the actions. These data suggest that warriors mainly protected the mausoleum of Alasha Khan. Therefore, this mausoleum was a place of protection, with the intention that no one would desecrate the remains. Why? What power makes them to protect Alasha Khan, who has not preserved as a mythical person? Such protected mausoleums are rarely found in the whole world, and they're built exclusively for great generals. Lots of questions to solve. So, does Alasha Khan's grave belong to Genghis Khan or not? Today, I ask to the international community, to the outstanding scientists of the world, that the time has come to answer the questions that concern to everyone. Studying the above facts, we are faced with many questions. Who is buried in the mausoleum of Alasha Khan, which is located in Ulu-Tau? Is it just a coincidence that the burials of the son of the famous Genghis Khan, Joshi Khan, his second wife Kulan, the father of the faithful companion and famous commander Ketbuk Dombaul, Genghis Khan's granddaughter Bolgan, and direct descendants of Genghis Khan like Toxtamış Khan, Temür Kutluk Khan are located in this holy place? Can the Khan's horde, located on the right bank of the Karatal River, be the center of the empire of Genghis Khan? Is there any reason fourth great Genghis Khan to consider to give his horde Deshti Kipchak to his eldest son Joshi Khan as the keeper of the center of the empire? There are a lot of questions that need to be solved. We can find the answers to these questions together.